Think about how hard things must have been for them. I know it won't be easy for me to think about this. I could never have dealt with such problems when I was your age. I barely knew how to handle my own duties. Really amazing that you're taking on this and doing something so important. It's not about being cool or popular, though. For example, the idea of hospice is a brave alternative to the rigid structure of the medical system. It's about kindness, respect, and changing how we deal with the hardest parts of life. Jonathan Taylor Thomas also won people's hearts, but in a different way. He was loved as Simba in The Lion King and as Randy on Home Improvement. Because of his skill and charm, he became well known. But he quit Hollywood in 1998, when he was at the height of his fame, and never came back. Why would someone who is so loved choose to stop being? The answer lies in a story of silent struggles, like the terrible headaches he got while shooting, the panic attacks he had because of his fame, and the personal battles that almost broke him. After 25 years, we finally know what happened to America's best teen star. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, on September 8, 1981. His real name is Jonathan Taylor Weiss. His parents, Claudine Gonsalves and Stephen Weiss, had no idea that their son would become a major player in pop culture in the 1990s. When he started working as an actor, he changed who he was. He kept Jonathan and Taylor as his first and middle names, but added Thomas from his brother's given name. This wasn't just a catchy stage name, it was an intentional mix of something personal and something professional. It connected him to his family history and helped him find his own place in the competitive world of Hollywood. In his early years he was always on the move. His family moved from Pennsylvania to Sacramento, California, when he was 4 years old. After a few years they packed up again and moved to Los Angeles. With each move he got closer to the show business and changed his path in ways he couldn't have imagined yet. Being able to respond well to new situations as a child from moving from place to place is likely something that helped him later on. He became a vegetarian when he was only 4 years old, which made him different from most kids. This wasn't a short-lived phase or an attempt to look like someone else. It came from his strong belief in animal freedom, which grew stronger as he got older. Even though Hollywood's glitz and glamour made him want to fit in, he refused to use goods that were tested on animals and made moral decisions. His mother, Claudine, worked with adults who were struggling, which may have made him more aware of social problems. She took him with her to work events a lot, where he saw things that most kids his age never saw. He learned about duty, gratitude, and the power of standing up for what you believe in from her. His choice to be a vegetarian wasn't just a matter of taste, it was a reflection of his ideals and a quiet protest against the shallowness he would later face in fame. It wasn't common for young stars to support issues like ethical consumerism in the 1990s. But Thomas didn't just say he believed in these things. He lived them. Fans liked him not only for how he acted, but also for how real he was. He wasn't just a pretty-faced teen hero, he was a real person, a young man whose beliefs shone through even when he was in the spotlight. Then, when his parents split up in 1991, his life changed again. He moved to Los Angeles with his mother and bigger brother when he was 10 years old. It wasn't an easy time. Divorce could have thrown him off track, but instead it put him in the middle of a lot of opportunities. His work was already taking off, and living in Hollywood put him in a great position to take advantage of it. He had strong support, even though it was hard on his emotions. His mother was also his manager and helped him stay grounded when he first became famous. Jeff Weiss, his uncle, was also very important. He was a well-known writer and actor who became more than just family, he became a mentor. Thomas learned from Jeff that playing was more than just a job. He talked a lot about telling stories, the craft of acting, and the little things that make a role more than just reading the lines. Thomas had an advantage over many kid actors because he had a family member who worked in the business. This person could help him through the good and bad times. Perhaps this shaped the depth he brought to his parts. Even in silly comedies, his acting felt real, like he wasn't just reading words, he gave them life. Thomas began his work life early. By the time he was 7, he was modeling for print ads in Sacramento. Local agencies liked how confident he was. That got him TV ads, where his natural charm really shone. He wasn't just another kid selling cereal, something about him made him stand out. In 1988, he got his big break with a Kellogg's Product 19 ad. 2 years later, he worked with Thora Birch in a Burger King ad. He was also in ads for Vivident Gum and Canon camcorders. Each job helped him get better at what he did, and added to his resume. By age 8, he had built a strong base. His first TV job was as Kevin Brady in The Bradys, a spin-off of The Brady Bunch, in 1990. The show tried to bring back well-known characters, but it ended after only 6 episodes. Even though it wasn't the starting point he had hoped for, it was still an important step. He worked with pros like Robert Reed and Florence Henderson under the name Jonathan Weiss and learned skills that would help him later on. The event taught him to be strong by showing him how unpredictable TV can be. He was tough, and it paid off when he tried out for and got the part of Randy Taylor on Home Improvement in 1991. People all over the world loved the show, which ran for 8 seasons and made Thomas a star. Randy was a fan favorite because he was so funny and easy to understand. The fact that he looked a lot like Tim Allen helped him get the part. From 1991 to 1999, he played Randy in 177 episodes, giving the character depth and making him more than just a sitcom stereotype. Randy questioned authority, pushed old ideas, and had a strong sense of right and wrong that viewers could relate to. Thomas, who was only 10 years old, handled school and movies with a gravity that belied his age. It was amazing, but the fast pace made it hard. Over time, that pressure would make him give up acting completely. He was more than just an actor when he was at the top of his game. His face was on the pages of Tiger Beat and Bop magazines, which called him JTT. Teen idols loved him for more than just his good looks. His messy blonde hair and striking blue eyes made him look great. He was smart, thought about himself, and used his stage with care. He talked in interviews about staying grounded and using his fame for good, rather than just wanting respect for its own sake. In addition to Home Improvement, he was in movies like Man of the House, Tom and Huck, and I'll Be Home for Christmas. Each part made him more well-known, but there was a catch to the attention. By the late 1990s, the bright light was getting old for him. He didn't like being called JTT, and he got angry when reporters asked about his personal life. Being a teen hero became too much to handle. Keeping up with Hollywood and schoolwork wasn't just hard, it was unbearable. He was worn out from working long hours on set, and the stress gave him terrible headaches. In a 1994 interview, he said, "I can't tell you how many shows I've done with full-blown migraines." He filmed whole episodes of Home Improvement while suffering from terrible headaches. He kept up his efficiency as he worked, but the stress got worse. He quit Home Improvement when he was 17 years old, after working there non-stop for almost 10 years. He wanted things to be normal again, a life without cameras. Some cast members were upset, and fans were shocked, but Thomas felt free. Afterward, he thought, "I would have died young if I had stayed at the show and tried to do academically what I'm doing now." In the same year, he became famous for lending his voice to young Simba in The Lion King, the Disney favorite from 1994, which made almost $1 billion and won 2 Academy Awards, showed how he could bring an animated character to life. It took more than a year to record, and he often had to fit it in between Home Improvement episodes. But his performance as Simba captivated and moved a generation.